I'm your host, Mona, and this is Introspection, the podcast. It is my belief that self-love is the key, and that we as a society have been conditioned. It's time we break free from these idealisms and we start living from our souls. The journey to self-love begins here. Introspection with Mona starts now.
Welcome to Introspection with Mona. Today, we're just gonna talk and let's see where we go today. I've had a lot of experiences in the last few weeks with lying, dishonesty, people trying to pull wool over your eyes. And sometimes it's people that, that may be doing this, that are close to you. Sometimes it's not. But what I really think is sad is the simple fact that they're lying to themselves more than anything else. Lying to themselves. Telling a story that they themselves have to believe. No guilt, no remorse, not for the self, not for anything else. Not for anyone else either. What are your thoughts and feelings on lying? Hurting others with no remorse. Then you come across some people when you kind of confront them that they can't lie. They know you have them at a point. And will either A, give up the information, so to speak, quite quickly, or make an excuse for it. What's been your experience with lying? But in the past few weeks, I can say that I've had to experience that quite a bit with a myriad of people. And it's hard when you know that, someone is lying to you. Either A, you can't voice it because they're not ready to hear it. Or B, this is just who they are. And you just need to take it in stride and go, okay, clearly this is their way of life. This is the way that they are. It's interesting when you start breaking down lying. You start asking the questions, well, why are they doing it? Are they not ready to hear the truth? Are they not ready to deal with the truth? Or is it simply out of sheer fear to deal with the truth? I don't know how any of you feel, but for myself, I would much rather you tell me how you're feeling, and I'll deal with the feelings, than to have to deal with the lie, because eventually you will get caught up in your lie. You will get caught. The old adage of, to catch a crook, you gotta think like a crook. And sometimes, as I said, I've had to do that myself. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm holier than thou. I have lied in the past. Especially when I was a kid, I can tell you why I lied. I came from a home where parents had the belief of spare the rod, spare the child. Well, I came from that belief that you don't spare the child, you hand the rod so that they learn. So I lied a lot as a kid out of fear. Sometimes even to be accepted or to be something that I wasn't, because I wanted approval from my parents. And I think, if we dig a little bit deeper and go a little further, parents play a huge role in the fact of kids wanting to be accepted, appreciated for who they are. Sometimes as parents, we lack that, and I'm only speaking from experience myself. My point of view is very different. Parenting, I try to hear the child, but sometimes, there are morals and values that I want a child to carry, so I'll try to instill that with them. Going back again, I helped raise my siblings, and I'm going to say that because I believe I did. So I wanted them to do certain things or have certain ways. I also will say that I may have had a hand in doing a little part helping raise some of my husband's nieces and nephews. The simple fact is trying to get them to do better things, or structure them a little bit better, or teach them about tidying up or brushing their teeth or their multiplications, whatever that may have been. And sometimes too, as an older person, we need to understand that these kids are looking for guidance. I often say parents can screw up a child for the rest of their life. And it's unfortunate a lot of people have children hoping that child will give them what they need. In the process, they are already not in the greatest shape, not in the greatest place. So we're coming from a hurtful place already, and we're trying to raise a child from that hurt, not realizing that we have work to do within ourselves. And what do we do in turn? We take our pain and place it on them. In turn, that now messes them up in society. They don't know how to be in society because they only know what they know. They are living what they learned. So if, and again, this is an opinion, if they've been raised by an alcoholic that, uses alcohol to bury their pain or mask their feelings, okay, what do? Their product is their environment. Okay, well, it's okay because this is what I watched my parent do. Hence, I'm going to do that. And then again, that old adage is, do as I say, not as I do, coming from a parental standpoint. I think, a person in their 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s, 60s that is lying. Why are you lying? What is it that you're getting from it? I understand a child lying, not wanting to get into trouble. I think that's what most of us lied for as younger beings. But at that age, what is it that you're lying? What is it that you're trying to cover up from yourself and from others? Then there's other people that lie again to be more something that they're not. Oh, I have this, I have that, whatever. You're trying to fit into society. For what? For what? I implore all of you to take a deeper look at yourself, a deeper look at your own meaning in life. Question yourself. Are you lying for the small things in your life, or are you lying for big things? You have to say if you lie for tiny things. What else are you not lying about? What other story are you telling yourself and telling the rest of the world that is untrue? Change starts with you. So be authentic to who you are. If you can't be authentic to yourself, then who are you being authentic to? You may not like what you see in the mirror, but guess what? You have the opportunity to change it. Not by any means, way, shape, or form do you need anyone else to do that. It's just you. You and the self. Looking beyond what is already there. Don't know where to start? Now question yourself, why am I doing that? I've been lied to in such a way where I've been deeply hurt because guess what? I gave that person the benefit of the doubt. Even sometimes with my abilities, I give people the benefit of the doubt, only to find out you lied. So again, you let go of it, you forgive, because we were brought into this world to do as God does. Love, forgive, do all the things that He does from a highest standpoint, or universe, creator, whatever you want to call it. And you walk that path again, and then they hurt you once again, and it's just like, okay, now everything's gone out the window. All the trust, all the care, you're now distancing yourself. And this is where I am at with some people, is the simple battle of, okay, I'm supposed to love you unconditionally because that's how God loves, or creator, whatever again you want to call it. So you now put that aside, but it doesn't mean that the hurt isn't there. Now that's where ego comes into play, and that's where you have to drop that. And I can tell you for myself, I play those mind games with myself over and over again. I get to a point where I'm okay, and then I get to a point where I'm not okay some days. So I'm still battling it. I'm still fighting it, knowing deep down in my heart that I have to love this person unconditionally. So I get back to that place, and then something they do or say triggers it, and you go, okay, can I trust you? who are you really? I don't know who you are. Now what? And then I'll say to myself, okay, I gotta let go of the hurt and the pain because that comes from ego. Why am I hurt? Is it because I expected better from that person? Is it because that person has spent a ton of time with me and you would think that some of it would have rubbed off? Well, lots of hard pills to swallow. But then
meters, turn left on Tottenham
you
Road, County Road 10.
then have to say, okay, this is where I need to be. This is the place of, maybe this is a lesson for me to learn. Sometimes it is a lesson for you to learn. Sometimes it's about you not letting your guard down. You know, as much as you may want what you want, and you may want something else for someone else, you have to remember that that's not your journey. And I think that's where I come back to, okay, it's not my journey. However much you screw up, whatever you do, that's on you, and those are consequences you're going to have to live with. How you treat people, how you are with others, who you're lying to, don't expect it not to come back, because it will come back on your doorstep. Everything that you've done. My aunt that I call mom has a famous saying, and I'll be honest, I believe it. There's some very things that I find very profound about my aunt that I call mom. I often take some of her wisdom and I impart it in myself because it's someone I love deeply. I look up to. You know, when I'm puzzled and I'm unsure, that's the person I pick up the phone and call. Say, hey mom, I'm not sure. Is it okay to feel like this? 9 times out of 10, that's the reassurance that I need. That's all I need. But she has this one saying that heaven and hell, right here on this planet, nothing goes unpaid. And you know what? It's kind of true. Most of our karma gets repaid right here. I guess some of it that we do at the tail end might not be repaid. Yes. Class of mine that I learned from as well, and the lessons and the teachings that I take from it, I still carry with to this day. I tend to have people, what most people in the 3D world would say, walk all over me, so to speak. Remember, I'm living in this 3D world. I'm not necessarily in the 3D. Some aspects of me might still be 3D, which I try to shift, but for the most part, I think I'm in a higher dimension. And again, that's my perception. But those in the 3D world are stuck with the simple fact, oh, you can't let anyone take advantage of you, and you can't do this, and you can't do that. Where does my head go? Maybe I was not a nice person in a past life. Maybe I wasn't a good person in a past life, so now I am now suffering. Maybe I'm going through this now to repay karma that I didn't pay in a past life. Okay, on to the next. So I take it in stride and I don't really let things get to me. Sometimes the people you're closest to will hurt you. And again, take it in stride. I might be hurt for that day, that moment, whatever, but I let it go because I need to. Sometimes it takes me a little bit longer, but eventually I'll get there. Because why? It's not my journey. I didn't create that mess. Someone else did that. So therefore, it will be theirs to clean up. You know, I have watched very dishonest people look like they're living the life that, you know, the celebrities live. And it's like, where's your karma in all of this? But your karma is coming. It's not up to me to determine when your karma is to come and why isn't it coming. Your karma will come, if not in this lifetime, in the next one. So, I often say let people do what they need to do because eventually it will find its way back to them. All I can do is worry about myself. And then, you know, there are some people that are so self-righteous, feel that they have to take on everyone else's cause. It's not yours to deal with. Move on. Deal with only you. You're wasting time and energy. A, it's not productive. B, it has nothing to do with you. Time to move forward. Leave that behind because it is not yours. That's just my thoughts for the day. Where my head is at. What I've been thinking. Sometimes when I reflect with you guys, it's what's going on in my own head at the moment because it's something I'm experiencing or going through. We'd really like to hear from you about today's podcast or any podcast in the past. You can message us at www.leadonwithlove.com or at one of our social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on those platforms as well. I look forward to hear some of your questions, and maybe we can dig a little bit deeper in this subject, because as I only touched very surface of it, and I'm sure there's a whole lot more, and I'm sure there's a whole lot more questions to be answered. But together we can help maybe change someone else, find a new direction, a new beginning. We all often want things to change in our lives that we're unhappy about. The only way that things will change, it begins with us. So again, don't forget to check us out on one of our social media platforms. Let us know your thoughts and feelings on today's podcast. Thank you for tuning in to Introspection with Mona. Until next time, peace, love, blessings to you and the world that surrounds you.